Yo, what's up, family? Sorry about that. I had to talk to my son. When you have a 19-year-old, yeah, just enjoy them while they're little. They are quite the handful, man. It's kind of hard to believe, though. In September, he's going to be 20, and that's how old I was when I had him. I was very young, but it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the beginning of the change, even though I didn't realize it, that God was working on me even at that age. But anyway, family, where I left off, we were talking about hell, and what is hell like, and the description of hell in the Bible. So I'm going to read you some scriptures, and this may take two-part study. We'll talk about, is hell eternal torment? We'll go into how Jesus preached on hell. Your worm will not die. Yeah, that's quite interesting. We'll talk about that. What does weeping and gnashing of the teeth mean? So yeah, it's probably going to take a two study, but we'll get it done, family. I wanted to share this with you guys because, like I said, I haven't been to church in 10 years, and it's the ones that I was going to in the past, and even not all of them. The one I grew up in as a child and got baptized in, they would speak on hell and the Book of Revelation and stuff like that. But as I got older into my late teens and early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, the ones I were going to just didn't seem to touch on stuff that, that make us uncomfortable sometimes. But it makes you realize that there is a power that is more powerful than you and has control over all things. And that one day all of this is going to be set aflame, family, that all of this is going to end, but your soul goes on. This planet is not going to make it, no. And it's not going to be climate change. It's not going to be everything that they're blaming it on, family. It's the sin of this world. That's going to be the death of this world, will be the sin. But, let's see, I think we left off, it's not the sin that's going to be thrown into hell. It was the person, you're going to be thrown into unquenchable fire. It is a place of judgment. That's Matthew 23:33, where God puts his fallen angels in chains of darkness, 2 Peter 2:4. We read in Jude 1:7, even as Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities about them is like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, or set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Psalms 21:8-9. You will capture all your enemies. Your strong right hand will seize all those who hate you. You will throw them to a flaming furnace when you appear. The Lord will consume them in his anger. Fire will devour them. Matthew 3:12. With his winnowing fork in his hand, he will clear his threshing floor, gathering his wheat into the barn and burning up the chaff with unquenchable fire. Matthew 5:22. But I tell you that anyone who is hungry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, Raka, and answerable to the court. And anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the hell of fire. Description of hell in the Bible. Hell is described as a furnace of fire in Matthew 13:41-42, family. The Son of Man will send forth his angels and will gather out the kingdom of all stumbling blocks and those who commit lawlessness, and will throw them into the furnace of fire. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Revelation 14:9-11 describes a gruesome place of torment, fire, brimstone, and no rest. So you think you have problems with sleep now? If you ain't living for the Lord, you're really going to be, there is no rest for the wicked. That's the old saying. That is very true. If anyone worships the beast in his image and receives a mark on their forehead, full strength in the cup of his anger will come upon you. That person will be tormented with fire and brimstones in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment goes up forever and ever, family. And there is no rest day or night. And those who worship the beast in his image and whoever receives the mark of his name will go through this. Is hell eternal torment? It is most certainly a place of eternal torment, family. It says in Revelation 14:10, they will be tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and the Lamb. Jesus gave a compelling description of the torment of Hades in Luke chapter 16, 19 through 31. Some think it is only a parable, but the graphic description of Lazarus named by Jesus indicates a real-life story, family. A man named Lazarus, covered with sores, was laid, implying he was unable to walk, at the gate of a wealthy man's home. Lazarus was starving and longing to eat the crumbs falling from the rich man's table. Lazarus died and was carried away by the angels to the arms or the bosom of Abraham. The rich man also died and went to Hades, where he was in torment. He saw Abraham far away and Lazarus in his arm, and he cried out, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus, so he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool off my tongue, for I am in agony in this flame." Abraham told him that there was a great chasm between them that could not be crossed. So even though they could see each other, you couldn't help that person. And the rich man begged Abraham to send Lazarus to the Father's house to warn his 5 brothers of the torments of Hades. Jesus' accounts makes it clear that torment of hell is a conscious suffering, family. In the same way that Lazarus longed for a crumb to eat, the rich man longed for a drop of water to relieve his agony. The rich man was screaming, "Help, have mercy, it's hot." He was burning in agony. We can't deny the words of Jesus. Jesus was teaching everlasting pain and torment. Jesus' accounts dismisses the false doctrines of annihilation, the belief that there is no eternal conscious suffering in hell because lost souls will simply stop existing or pass into a dreamless sleep. This is not what the Bible says at all, brothers and sisters. They will be tormented day and night forever and ever. And that is in the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 10. Many people will say God is love. He wouldn't throw anyone to in hell. However, the Bible also says that God is holy. God hates. God is just. God is a consuming fire. It is absolutely terrifying when the wrath of God is upon someone. Hebrews 10:31 is a terrifying thing to fall into the hands of a living God. Hebrews 12:29. For our God is a consuming fire. Luke chapter 16, 19 through 28, family. There was a rich man who was dressed in purple and fine linen and lived in a luxury every day. At his gate was laid the beggar named Lazarus. So we all know that you may have a lot of things here on earth, but there may come a day when you're going to face your judgment and your torment if you didn't live for Christ. If you were selfish, if you lived for yourself and all you thought about was you, then your day will come. Jesus preached on hell, family, on multiple occasions. In Matthew 5, Jesus preached that anger and calling someone a derogatory name is deserving of judgment and even hell. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother shall be answerable to the court. And whoever says to his brother, "You are good for nothing," shall be answerable to the Supreme Court. And whoever says, "You fool," shall be guilty enough to go into the fiery hell. And that's in verse 22 in Matthew. A few verses later, Jesus warned against lust and adultery, saying that if one eye was causing them to sin, it would be better to gouge out that eye